As the polarization of housing prices deepens, particularly in the Seoul metropolitan area, the gap between the top 20% and bottom 20% of apartment prices nationwide has reached its greatest disparity on record.
수도권을 중심으로 집값 양극화가 더욱 심화되는 가운데 서울뿐만 아니라 전국 아파트 가격 상위 20%와 하위 20%의 격차가 역대 최고 수준으로 벌어졌습니다. Okay, so there's this word 양극화.
Yes.
Okay, so polarization.
Yes.
So it's like the extreme opposites.
Right, yes.
Yeah, like very high, very low.
Very high, very low. That is
Okay.
correct, yes. So this polarization means there is nothing in the middle. It is going to the extreme.
Okay.
Yeah. So this word pole or polar, so I guess we can talk about the word pole, P-O-L-E. If you're looking at the Korean word 양극화, it's the 극 of 양극화, right?
Okay, yes.
So we often see this word in things like where Santa lives,
North Pole.
the North Pole, 북극.
Yes.
Or you can talk about the South Pole.
That's right.
The 남극, right? So even the down south we have that pole, right? It's
Right.
the farthest point south.
Yeah, it's like from one end to the other spectrum.
Yes.
So what kind of impact is this having on people and housing?
Well, to give some numbers, if we're only looking in the Seoul area, the top 20%, the price of the houses in the top 20%, and the housing prices in the bottom 20%, there's a 5.5 difference.
Okay.
In the sense of, if you have 상위 20% 아파트 일체 가격으로 하위 20% 아파트의 평균 5.5채 살 수 있다는 말이에요.
Okay.
So there is that big, there's a 550% difference.
Wow, that's quite significant.
Right.
Yeah.
And it gets even worse if you look at the entire country. So that 5.5 times becomes 11
Oh
times
gosh.
when you're looking at the entire country.
All right, these are a lot of numbers that I don't quite understand.
So it's basically saying,
So what is this saying?
it's saying the most expensive houses are getting way more expensive.
Right.
And the
Bottom 20?
the bottom 20% of houses, they might be rising a little, but not at the
Not.
same speed,
Okay.
not the same amount. So
Okay.
if you think of it as an investment, if your house price goes up, that's great,
Great.
right?
Yes, but for the bottom 20%, this is terrible news.
Yeah, it's not going up near as much. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. So, does this mean that people? What are the chances of people who live in Seoul to buy a place in Seoul?
Well, it is,
Not looking good.
it is not a great story for sure. Seoul actually has one of the worst price to income ratios
Oh, that's interesting.
in
Yes.
the world.
Oh, in the world.
Which is when you're looking at average income versus the average price of a home.
Right.
In the third quarter, it was at about 9.8, which means it takes 9.8 years to earn the amount of money you
to buy a
need to
house.
buy a house.
Yeah.
But that is not including, in that 9.8 years, you can't buy food.
You can't do anything. Oh.
Like that's your entire
굶어야 돼.
salary.
10 years 굶고
Yeah.
그래야 아파트 살 수 있어요?
옷도, 음식도.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
not reasonable.
Right.
So
This is very, very
Oh.
high for a developed country like Korea. So, housing is always a big issue.
it sure is.
So this polarization of the housing prices, of course, is not good news to be hearing.
Okay, so keep in mind, everyone, polarization, very interesting word, 양극화이죠?
Yes.
Okay, let me read that again. As the polarization of housing prices deepens, particularly in the Seoul metropolitan area, the gap between the top 20% and bottom 20% of apartment prices nationwide has reached its greatest disparity on record.